how did you sound calling Dodgers games earlier in your career? Like, did you have the same excitement and enthusiasm? Because for a few years you were splitting the job with Vin Scully, and like I think of Vin Scully calling a baseball game, and I think of you calling an NBA game, and it sounds different.
It was radically different for a number of different levels. Vin is, in my opinion, and I think probably most people's opinion, the best to ever do it. Just fantastic. Now, I knew I was never going to be Vin. Just the style of Vin's broadcast. He was a one-man booth. He had a microphone, and he was talking directly to the people at home. And his story base went back to like the mid-'40s. He was the only voice the Dodger fans had heard when they moved from Brooklyn out to LA. So the style of broadcast that I had a partner who's great, Steve Lyons. So we weren't talking directly to the audience. We were talking to each other, and the audience was kind of, listening to our conversation. And our references were totally different. So I had done a whole bunch of baseball. I was a baseball guy. Spent a bunch of years in minor leagues. I was ready. The biggest accomplishment that I've ever had in my career, I believe, is still making it for 5 years with the Dodgers. I had 5 different one-year contracts that continue to bring me back. And I thought I put a really good product on the air. And I always said when I was doing it, I said, you know what? I think that this is just I think we're a little bit ahead of our time right now. I don't think that, it's so radical a difference between what Vin is doing, what I'm doing.
Yeah.
It's really kind of hard. But anyway, I made it 5 years, and I did my thing. Sometimes I curbed it back. I was told by executives, hey, Vin doesn't call, the mound the bump, so our Dodger fans don't know what that is. Don't say that. Vin doesn't refer to a single to the right side as a knock. So when Matt Kemp does that, people at home don't know what you're talking about. So I was encouraged to use less of my vocabulary and vernacular that I had learned by doing the Chicago White Sox as a sideline reporter for 4 years, by doing Cub pregame stuff for many years, by doing minor league baseball for 4 seasons. I was told to kind of curb my baseball, modern baseball lingo to more fit what people were interested in listening to. So when that kind of ended after 2013, and I got another chance to do a big league or major league team, and I got hired by the Hornets, I said, you know what? This is going to be all me. It's not going to be 85% me. It's not going to be 60% me. This is going to be 100% Eric Collins.
How did the Dodgers fans react to you or respond to you when you were calling games those years?
I don't know. That's another thing I kind of don't do is I don't do a lot of social media. I'm on now. I'm on now, Instagram guy, but I don't do social media. I kind of my big thing is I want to kind of be the best version of who I can be, and if I'm thinking about what people like or don't like, that just doesn't work. It's got to be what I like. And
did you get
opportunity? Like people. What?
Sorry, go ahead. Finish that thought.
It just seems like I've got enough feedback just face to face.
Yeah.
From Hornets fans that I kind of like. I like the direction we're headed.
Yeah. No, I think definitely now with the Hornets, you certainly have a lot of fans, a strong fan base with the Hornets. Did you have opportunities to get to know Vin when you were working with the Dodgers those years?
That's a major regret because I didn't. Vin did all the home games. I did the road games outside of California. So I never lived in LA. I lived in Chicago, and I would kind of commute if the Dodgers playing in whatever, New York or Atlanta or Houston or whatever. I would just fly and meet the team. So Vin and I only had we never actually went out to dinner or coffee, that kind of stuff. We were in meetings together, that kind of stuff. But, I never got a chance to kind of be taken under his wing or learn from him. He is the one guy. Well, I kept saying I don't listen to other broadcasters. When I was doing Dodger baseball from my home, I was watching every Dodger game that was being played out in the West Coast. And I did have the sound up, and I would listen and have my mind blown every single night. But no, I don't have the relation. I didn't have the relationship with Vin that I would have loved to.
Did you feel a lot of pressure being the second announcer to somebody as legendary as Vin Scully?
It wasn't just the pressure of, kind of having a job share with Vin Scully. It's the pressure. It's the Dodgers, man. I think the Dodgers are, it's a boutique business, man. The Dodgers have a worldwide fan base. I grew up a Cleveland Indians fan and an anti-Yankee fan. And so that meant, back in the 70s, you're a Dodger fan by proxy. So I could rattle off, the lineup for the Dodgers back in the 77 and 78 seasons because that's who I was rooting for. So when I got the opportunity, man, I was dialed in. I knew about the Dodger mystique and the legacy, and we'd go to ballpark to ballpark. It was crazy. We'd be in Miami or Atlanta or St. Louis, and how many Dodger fans and Dodger jerseys were being worn. So I understood the magnitude of the organization. Now I'm a Cleveland guy.
Yeah.
I've lived in Charlotte for a long time, and I do consider myself kind of an underdog type of guy. My broadcasting style kind of goes with the underdog. We're fighting here. Can we do it? So it's kind of weird to me being with a team with a big budget and a huge fan base, and kind of going to different places and kind of being seen as, this is Dodgers. Well, they're the villains when they come to town. It's like, what? I'm used to be kind of involved with lovable losing teams.